My phone exploded with the sound of the emergency alert as I watched blood pool beneath the mail slot. A week ago, that sentence would have sounded like someone else's nightmare. Back then, my biggest problem was whether I'd remembered to pay my car insurance. I am, a 32-year-old delivery driver, part-time. The rest of my hours go to a gas station off Route 9, third shift, graveyard. Pay sucks, but you get to keep leftovers at the end of the night. That was life. Microwaved burritos at 2 a.m., rent always due, mom texting about how quiet the house feels since dad died. I lived alone in a one-bedroom dump that always smelled like paint thinner and old socks, walls thin as paper. My couch sags on the right side from the weight of habit. Me, slumped with a bad knee from that time I thought I could skateboard. Now the joint aches when the weather turns. I still keep my old skate deck under the bed, wheels stuck with hair and gunk, like maybe I'd try again one day if my body let me. I get jumpy in tight spaces, never liked basements or closets. Even as a kid, I'd sleep with the bedroom door cracked open just enough to see the hall. It's pathetic, I know, but it's a thing. I tell myself it's healthy to know your own flaws. The problem is, I can't run from this one. Not now. That morning, yesterday, or was it today, I woke to the blaring shriek on my phone, that buzz and siren screaming, "Stay inside, zombie outbreak hits your state." I thought it was another test, like the ones that ruin your favorite song on the radio. But then the specifics rolled in. Do not leave your home. Barricade doors and windows. Report bites to 911. All networks, all channels. My phone, my TV, the neighbor's ancient transistor radio through the wall. I opened the group chat with my sister Lucy, and before I could type, she sent, "Is this real? Are you safe? Don't open the door for anyone." I texted her that I was fine. Lie number 1. I had already heard pounding in the hallway. My apartment building is the kind that never really feels secure, no matter how many locks you bolt. Somebody down the hall was screaming. No words, just a sound like they were dragging broken glass over their throat. I did what the alert said, pushed the couch against the door, wedged my broken skate deck under the handle. The breathing on the other side of my door was slow, wet, and wrong, like lungs half full of water. It made the hairs on my arms stand straight up. I pressed my ear to the peeling paint, holding my breath, but the only thing louder than that gurgling exhale was my own heart hammering against my ribs. I knew I should move, check the windows, call Mom or Lucy, but I stayed frozen, knees aching, mouth dry, waiting for that noise to change. Then, from the hallway, something shuffled closer. A dragging, uneven step, like someone with a bad leg or someone too tired to care how much noise they made. The blood had stopped oozing, but the puddle was thickening by my toes, catching bits of lint and crumbs and turning them black. I thought about grabbing my baseball bat from behind the fridge, but the idea of making any sound felt suicidal. My old flip phone, the backup, buzzed once in my hoodie pocket. I flinched, and the thing on the other side of the door went silent. A second later, it slammed itself against the wood. Not a test, not a knock, a full-body, boneless crash, like a sack of meat hurled at the frame. I jumped back, cracked my elbow on the edge of the table. The couch held. The skate deck wedged under the handle gave a loud squeal, but didn't snap. I caught my reflection in the microwave's black glass, wide eyes, wild hair, the kind of look I got after pulling a double and forgetting to eat. My phone buzzed again, more frantic this time. I snatched it up, thumbed the screen. "Lucy, get away from the door. Turn off the lights. Don't let them see you." I fumbled for the lamp, killed it. The only glow came from the street light leaking through my broken blinds. My chest felt tight, claustrophobia crowding out rational thought. I counted the steps to the kitchen in my head, shuffled over and grabbed my bat. Dad's old Louisville Slugger, the tape around the handle stained with sweat from his little league days. My palms slipped around the wood. Another impact, heavier this time. The doorframe groaned. The oily smell grew stronger. Now it stung my eyes. I fought the urge to cough. My stomach twisted, and for a second, I remembered that time Mom caught me hiding in the linen closet during a storm, breathing in hot, dusty air, thinking I'd suffocate before the thunder passed. The memory hit me so hard I almost forgot the thing outside. It stopped slamming. Now there were voices in the hallway, but none I recognized. A scraping sound, slow and deliberate, like someone keying their way along every door. A giggle, childlike and high, but distorted. I pressed my bat to my chest and backed up to the kitchen table, knees locked, staring at the mail slot. Something small, maybe a fingertip, impossibly pale, probed through for a second, then vanished. I wanted to run, but my feet wouldn't listen. Instead, I dialed Lucy with shaking hands. 2 rings, no answer. I tried Mom, voicemail as usual. Behind me, the radio I'd forgotten to unplug crackled to life. The emergency broadcast voice was garbled now, words slurred, almost singing. Stay inside. Stay quiet. Stay. Static swallowed the rest. The streetlight outside flickered, buzzing like an angry hornet. Shadows twisted on the living room walls, long and twitching. I backed into the bathroom, slammed the door, shoved the trash can in front of it. Sweat burned in my eyes. My knee throbbed, worse now from crouching. I pressed my back to the tile. The bat clutched to my chest and stared at the gap beneath the door. There was a scuff mark from when I dropped my toothbrush last week. Funny, the things you notice when you're trying not to panic. The world outside went silent again, except for a gentle, rhythmic scraping at my apartment door. Then, from the living room, the couch began to move. I gripped the bat so hard my knuckles ached, listening as the couch scraped inch by inch across the warped floorboards. The living room had always felt small, but now every footstep sounded like thunder, every creak a warning. I tried to quiet my breath, but my lungs burned. I watched dust dance in the faint bathroom light, remembering how Dad used to tell me, "If you're scared, just count to 10. The couch thudded against the door, then dragged back. Something, or someone, was pushing from the outside, or maybe it had gotten inside. The scraping paused, replaced by a soft tapping, like fingernails drumming on plywood. I squeezed my eyes shut, picturing Lucy's face on the old Polaroid tucked in my wallet, her arm around me after the high school graduation neither of us wanted to go to. I kept thinking, I need to protect her, like she's the one in danger, not me. The tapping stopped. I heard fabric tear. My mouth went dry. In the silence, I could hear a wet chewing sound. Close. Too close. I tried not to gag, thinking about the way the meat in the gas station fridge always smells when it's gone bad. Thick and sweet. Something slithered past the bathroom door, dragging itself over the tile. I saw the shadow of a hand, a shape anyway, crawl along the gap under the door, fingers long and boneless, bending in places fingers shouldn't bend. A new noise, a phone ringing, muffled and distant. My heart stuttered. My ringtone, the old 8-bit Mario theme Lucy set for herself as a joke. I'd left my main phone in the living room. It rang, stopped, rang again. The thing out there shifted, slow and deliberate, drawn by the sound. I pressed my back tighter against the bathroom wall, sweat trickling down my neck. Something thumped against the door. Not hard, but probing. My claustrophobia closed in, making the air thick and syrupy. I tried to count to 10. My knee screamed from the pressure. I thought about Dad's voice, how it always sounded steady, even when he was scared. I never told anyone, but I found a note in his desk after the funeral. He'd been worried about me, about Lucy, about how we'd handle things if he wasn't around. The Mario theme stopped mid-note. Silence crashed in. Then, something new. A clicking, like a tongue tapping against teeth, fast, arrhythmic. It circled the bathroom door, once, twice. My mind raced. Could they smell fear? Did they even think? Or was it just hunger? I forced myself to look down at my hands. They were trembling, slick with sweat. The bat felt heavier with every passing second. I looked at the chipped tiles, the toothpaste stains on the sink, the tiny spiderweb crack where I'd dropped my old phone months ago. I wondered if Lucy was hiding somewhere right now, if Mom had even seen the alert, if anyone else was listening to that same slow, terrible breathing. A loud pop, like a light bulb exploding, came from the living room. The shadows under the door twitched. The scraping grew urgent, frantic. The doorknob rattled. I wedged my feet against the wall, ready to push back if it broke through. The bat slipped a little in my hands. I could hear my pulse in my ears. The knob turned halfway, stopped. For a moment, everything held still, as if the whole world was waiting for the next breath. The sound of my voice, my own voice, came from the hallway, ragged and low. "Let me in." I clamped a hand over my mouth, choking back a scream. That voice, a twisted echo of my own, was outside the bathroom, leaking through the crack around the door like cold smoke. Every syllable was wrong, too slow, every word separated by a bubbling wetness like whoever was speaking had water or blood in their lungs. "Let me in." I gripped the bat, body shaking. I thought about all the times I'd practiced saying no in the mirror, always too soft with strangers, never wanting to make a scene. Now my own voice, warped and dragged through hell, was asking for entry. I pictured Lucy, her nervous laugh the last time I teased her about her ringtone. I pictured Mom in that too-quiet house, hands wringing her frayed dish towel. The doorknob scraped again, slow and patient. From the gap beneath the door, oily blood crept toward my bare toes, moving against gravity, leaving black streaks across the tiles. I tried to scoot back, but the trash can wedged against the door barely budged. Sweat pooled in the hollow of my back. The thing outside shifted its weight. Shadows danced beneath the door, long and misshapen, bending in ways that didn't match any body I'd ever seen. That mouth started mimicking me, now whimpering. "Please, I'm scared." My knee spasmed. Pain shot up my leg. The bat slipped in my grip, smacking against the tile. Silence. Then an explosion of sound. The door shook so violently I thought it would snap off its hinges. That voice screeched, splitting into layers, some too high, some too deep, repeating my words back at me. "Let me in. Please. I'm scared. Please." I started counting. 1, 2, 3. Anything to drown it out. The pounding intensified. I grabbed my phone, fingers fumbling. I opened Lucy's contact. I typed, "If I don't make it, I love you. Tell Mom." But I couldn't finish. I hit send anyway. The noise stopped. My chest heaved. I waited, heartbeat thudding in my throat as the thing on the other side breathed and clicked and then, impossibly, began humming the Mario theme from my ringtone. Glitchy, broken, just enough to make my skin crawl. The humming faded as whatever it was dragged itself away from the door, the blood-streaked tile shining in the weird light from the living room. I could have stayed, but claustrophobia had its own claws, digging into my ribs, making it impossible to breathe. When I couldn't take it anymore, I cracked the bathroom door. The living room was torn apart, the couch halfway across the floor, blood smeared in oily arcs across every wall. My main phone sat on the table, screen lit up with missed calls from Lucy and an alert blinking across every app. Do not open the door for anyone. Do not trust any voice. The infected mimic what they hear. I limped to the window, every step fire in my knee, and peered through the blinds. The street was littered with bodies, some crawling, some twitching, some standing in crooked lines as if waiting for orders. The air was thick with that same oily, electric smell. Sirens wailed in the distance. I heard voices, my neighbor's, my own, someone's grandma, all repeating, "Let me in." I ducked back, hand over my mouth, my heart jackhammered. I pulled the Polaroid from my wallet and held it tight. All I could think was, "Lucy, please stay safe. Please don't listen to anything that sounds like me. If you're hearing this, if you find my phone or this recording, don't open your door. Don't answer. Don't trust any voice, not even your own." And if you want more real horror stories like this, subscribe now to Dark Whispers. Stay inside. Stay safe. I'm out.